Hey, what's going on, Profit Bulls? We're going to do a stock breakdown today. We're going to look over my low float momentum. And the first one we're going to look at is CLSN and see why this stock was moving the way it did. This is the 1 year chart delta of CLSN. And you can see that it was pushing from a low of 69 cents all the way up to around 328 to finish closing off around 303 on Monday. Let's back out here and see how the stock performed. It was definitely around $2.16 on the 1 year. Let's push this out 3 years week. The high on a 3 year chart was around 606. If you go back further than that in time, I'm pretty sure the stock was a lot higher. So let's look at a 10 year chart. This stock was around 594 back then. And I'm not too sure what happened with this stock. I do know that it did pop up on my alert, and we're going to monitor it. I do believe I have it in Webull. I'm going to load that up right now to see, because I don't remember if I bought it. I did bought 40 shares. Yeah, I bought 40 shares of that. So this stock has been continuously uptrending on the 5 minute, 5 day, uptrending from a low of 134, and it just, it's continued to make higher highs now. Seems like some good news came out down here, so it looks like they had good earnings, etc. But this stock, give me a second. This stock is definitely making improvements for an uptrending pattern here. So from a high of this 5 day period, give me a second. So from a low of 134 around 5 days ago was around 154%. That is an incredible move. So if you bought down in one of these 2 days, or even this day, you definitely made money on the upside. And it looks like it's continuing to push. It is a little too high for me on the 1 year delta, and it looks like it is oversold right now on the RSI, and the MACD indicator is still pointing up, but we don't know what's going to happen on Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day. Let's see. Let's go to charts. Get rid of this thing. So this is the 180-day chart right here. This is what we're looking at. On the last 4 hours, it did pull down. On the day, it did close off. We're in after market hours. It seems like it's going to continue up. There's no signs right now of any drop. I mean, it could be. We don't know what Tuesday's about, but it could be. This is something that if it did pull down, I would like to see it pull down to right around 258 and then continue up. Alright, so let's look at another stock here, RENN. Same thing with RENN. On a 1 year delta, my Bollinger Bands are opening up, which is good signs. They did have what looked to be good news, earnings, I guess. It did push up that day. It consolidated pretty much right around here from a low of around 123 to a high of about 150-ish for these days here, and then it continued to spike up and push. Here's that it broke the top of the Bollinger Band, came down to the EMA, and then it just really started pushing these last 3 days. I mean, right here's that 164. That's probably where 164, that's probably this candle mark area right here, where you can see it pulled back down, and it pulled back down and started pushing back up. This, I can see this one continuing to rise up. It wouldn't surprise me if this stock gets pulled down to the 180-day though, which is okay. I would like to see it pull down. Definitely have a pull down. That would have some support for the EMA here. The 180-day on this side, it would, if it dropped down to here to 131, that's support of the 180-day, and then we got a support around here on the Yeah, right around these candle marks, right about there at the top of these three here. So it can pull down to 308. That would probably be a good entry buy if it doesn't break this. If it breaks this, then the stock will probably drop down, continue to drop down to right about here's another entry point around this level here. There's another support and then the last support. Let's go back to the 5-day 5-minute. So with the 5-day 5-minute, you could definitely see that it was from the low of like 164, let's say, to up here where it tried to break this resistance. It didn't, had a double top, then pulled down after market hour, and it continued to trade up. But even from down to here to up to here, that's a 165% move. This is 84% move if you sold around here, which would have been great. So this could be a play for Tuesday. And I believe we already talked about CLSN. Yep. NVAB, ooh, had a red day. You can see it pushed up after market hours, pre-market hours, and then just sold off. So it couldn't even hold pre-market on the 5-minute chart. It just started falling here, and you could generally tell this stock was going to continue to go down by this crossover, the EMA in the middle Bollinger Band. Normally when this crosses over and it stays below it like this and just keeps bouncing, which you can see, that means it would most likely continue to, you know, fall off. And here's that reversal trend, a fake out breakout, as you want to say it, and then it tried again here, and it just started slow. This would have been a double top on a 5-minute, and then it started pushing up slowly, couldn't hold, and just pushed back down. So pretty much it ended yeah, just right above where it started to uptrend here. And after market hours, it started selling down about 7, almost 8% from where it closed at. Looking at the 1-year delta on this side, it just had a red day. And it's crossed over the 180-day on a 5-minute. I'm pretty sure this stock will continue to go down on Tuesday. Just from the looks of it, it's too high. It didn't even hold green. There was a significant gap here, but I'm going to go ahead and set an alert for it to go lower. Create an alert, at or below, and just to be on the safe side, I'm going to create an alert here, at or above. Yeah. Okay, just so I can, you know, monitor this, because just because it you know, means it. Just because it crossed over the 180-day doesn't mean it can't pick back up. I mean, look what happened here. It was all under the 180-day down here, and this time frame right here is all underneath the 180-day, and it just busted right through. So it's good to be on the you know, winning side, as you could say. So if this continues to go down, I'll monitor it. If it continues to go up, well, my entry would probably be right about here, because that was the last resistance area for the double top. So we're going to go ahead and say we're going to go ahead and say this will be another point right here. So at or above, and then we'll continue to. Alright, so after we had this alert here put, now we're going to look at another one. EXRS, what a beautiful move. It's opening on a Bollinger Band on a 1-year delta. Let's look at the 5-day 5-minute. We're going to back out here. It was a low of $3.60. It is bouncing always off the 180-day SMA. It is currently, you know, moved from here. Moved from market open roughly to here about 23%, which would have been a nice, a little nice move. Now let's look at the 180-day chart. 180 days, it fell from 1229 all the way down. Somewhere in here is the coronavirus, probably around here. Here's that coronavirus, February 10th, that drop and continued to drop to $1.49. It kind of leveled off here for a little bit. It had support and resistances right about here. Support here. Come on, man. support about there, and then some resistance here, and it finally broke through the resistance. We can see that it finally broke through, and my Fibonacci, not Fibonacci, my Tesla 369 theory. So when blue, green, yellow, and red, so if it's blue, green, yellow, and red, when those are in that order, as you see here, blue, green, yellow, and red, blue, green, yellow, and red, that means there's an uptrend. If there's red, yellow, green, then blue, you can see that it's continuing downtrend. You see that? It tried here to pop up, but it just couldn't hang. It's going down. And then finally, excuse me, it started trading sideways, you know, in between this range right here. Yeah, you had a spike up here, then pulled back, and it just, you know, traded within this range here. And then it finally busted, and it continued to move up. So we'll say that it busted around the support level here, resistance level, excuse me. And this last like 15-20 days or so, it just slowly uptrending. It pulled to a high of 586 and then closed off around 551. If you would have bought, let's say, anywhere from here really, or even these next days, you would have made a profit of $185. Excuse me, 185%, which is very good. So let's go back to trade. So it is continuously showing signs of an uptrend. One of the things to watch out for when you look at the 180-day, just to verify that it's, you know, it's going to continue to go up. You can always do a resistance here, a resistance off these candles here, and there should be some sort of support over here, which is this candle and this candle, because they closed pretty much even. Alright, this one closed even. This one closed, then this one, you know, it opened even, and then, you know, continued to go up from there. So this would be now a support level, roughly right around here. You could do another support just off of this 5-day. There's one there. There's one here, and with the double bottom on the 5-minute chart here. And we'll verify that. Yeah, so there's a double bottom, continue to push up, then we got a triple top right now. So theoretically, normally with triple tops, it can start pulling down, and in fact, you can see with the MACD indicator, it is starting to pull down. It's starting to downtrend, which you can see by these two little dash marks here. So those that bought up here at the 580, you know, they lost around 30 cents already. Oh, 50, yeah, around 30 cent, 25, 30 cent. So we'll see what happens when market open, but I think it's going to go down. So I want to put an alert here on this one as a at or below, because I'm pretty sure, I'm almost certain, unless if news comes out, always pay attention to news, unless if news comes out, it's going to continue to go up. But we'll also do alert here just to be on the safe side. And then we'll continue to move down the line. ZFGN, it's starting to open up on a Bollinger Band. It was trading after the coronavirus fall off over here, roughly March time frame, right around here. And it's showing signs of an uptrend. You can see it by the low. It's making higher lows and higher highs. And then we'll look at the 5 minutes. So it's continuously showing signs of an uptrend. It did have a midday, probably news release right here on Friday, and that's why I pushed up the way it did. So this one could be something to watch for. INOD can be another one. For me, this is a little too choppy on a 1 year, because it's just, look at this, look at a small range. Holy crap, there's literally nothing here. For me, this stock is worthless. So I mean, for somebody it might not be, but for me, I wouldn't want to trade that, because there's no real movement. You literally have from one 110 to 120. Yeah, that's still a 10% increase. Excuse me, 10-cent increase. Yeah, it's 120, right? Yeah. So I mean, if you were to trade this, you could guarantee to make 10 cents all the time. Just by this pattern here, you could see probably off of this, it's always been making, somebody could always been making 10 cent. So I mean, there's money to be made, but excuse me, for me it's too choppy. So it was high at the $35 in a 1 year time frame, then fell off. And then is currently trading down here. It did have a gap down, then a gap up, and now it's currently kind of consolidating around this area on a 1 year chart. There's that consolidation right around here. It did try to push up, and it's pushing down. It broke below the Bollinger Band a little bit on a 1 year. Broke below the Bollinger Band and the EMA, and then it's starting to push up. It is confirmation that it is pushing up on this side. The RSI is on a little oversold side, and here it's just trade that's what I was saying, consolidation. Then something happened on this day to make the stock, could be something down here with the news, so they probably had good earnings, and it just made the stock, soar up. Not really soar, but this would be a significant move to me. Pretty much 30 cent roughly right here. 510 to 602, so like a 92-cent move, which is not bad. If you bought in, this day here at $5 a share, buy 100 shares is $500. Sold it for 92 cents. You're making some money, but I wouldn't trade this one. So ELF, it is recovering very fast actually from the coronavirus fall off. You can see all those gap downs on a coronavirus fall off, and then it's starting to push up. It started pushing up above the EMA here and the middle Bollinger Band, and it's always just touching pretty much the EMA. And as this one had a nice gap up. It gapped. Probably we can see that. Where's that gap at? So it would have happened like right in here, this area here. This would be a good one to trade. I mean, the next resistance point is like right about here. So right about here is the next resistance point. It did hold above it. You can see it did hold above it, and in fact this line here traded on it pretty much the rest of the day, or like 3/4 of the day, then it started pushing up after hours, which is great. So ELF would be a nice one to watch. Let's see, SPKE. Same thing with SPKE. It's making a higher low, not so much. Pretty much, I think that would be considered a double bottom actually. And then it started pushing up, had a pull back, pushed up. So now we're having a lower high, and a lower high, and a lower low, obviously. And then it touched the bottom Bollinger Band, and it started rapidly curving up. Could be Spark Energy to pay unchanged dividend. So something with earnings, perhaps, or yep, with earnings. And here you can see that it was trending nicely up consistently. Wow, sorry, yawning so much. Let's look at the 180-day chart to see what's up. So same thing, higher lows, higher low, and then the switch up, and that's what I was talking about with my Tesla's 369 theory on my EMA. The red line started to cross over these three here, and then you just had literally three solid green days. Let's look at ASPS. Same thing with ASPS. That coronavirus sell-off is currently trying to make a move back up, and it gapped here on this day. So you had 4 green days in a row. It even gapped up after hours. It gapped down here, then gapped up to $13. So this is a continuation of an uptrend. This is something that I am going to watch because it's making moves back to the upside. So we're gonna go ahead and put an alert here. Create alert, and then just to be on the safe side, we're gonna go ahead and create alert down here. Okay, so there's my alert down here, and the other alert would be up at the top. So let's get these messages from Facebook. So what's another one? We could look at XENE. This one was being called out a few times. It did pull to a low of $7, it looks like, and it started pushing up. This day had a really good day because of earnings. It really started pushing up for around 1430 pre-market, gapped. Then it pretty much opened here at 1469 and had a pull down. This next candle didn't show. As you can see, it's just a dash. Pretty much another dash and a little candle wick, and then it just started trending up from there to $17. So that had been a nice play. Xeon Pharmaceuticals. The overall high of the year is $18, 18.45 with a double top here. So there's still room. It did close like here. So so it did pull high of 17. So the candle wick. So you still got, you know, almost, let's say 17. You still got around $1.30, maybe $1.25 to make, because this is considered a double top here already. I wouldn't try to. I mean, it could, but I wouldn't try to hold past this. So I mean, currently right now it's trading at 14.90. According to this one, it is at 14.90. So this could be something to monitor for like a $3-4 increase. That's XENE. Let's go to the next one, GNSS. GNSS looks pretty good. It made an all-time high in a 1-year chart. So let's take a gander back into the 10-year chart and see what the 10-year time frame says. 10 years says the highest it's ever been was 520, and it's continuing to make slow moves up. I don't like it because there's really no candle movement chart patterns or anything for me. I mean, there's movement. It's just it's not like you know, this where it's got more ups and downs, more volatility in there, or you know, maybe something like this here where there's more candles. But yeah. So now we're going to take a look at the low float 100 mil. Low float 100 mil is a little bit bigger index. This is shares that this is a float size of companies share under 100 mil. So NARA looks like it's a brand new stock on a market, which I'm going to do some research on this company now, because it opened to from 39.55, pulled to a high of 47, and it even started to uptrend after market hours. This looks like it's the first day it's been out, because I don't see nothing else out here. So NARA will be in my stock list right now. NARA. So NARI, sorry, NARI. Where is that one at? Okay, well then we'll put NARI. Okay, so NARI is in there. So we'll go ahead and collapse this down. And XERS. This is, I think this is the one we just went over. Yeah, we had like 5 green days in a row. And yeah, so we already did this one, ramp. So let's take a gander at ramp. It's definitely was already on a descending pattern anyway before the coronavirus hit. You could see higher low, higher low, higher low. You know, it did pull up past that, and there's that top off where it was like the whole market was considering what was going on. So, Was Trump going to shut down the economy? Or actually, the whole world got shut down. It doesn't matter. But then that coronavirus came in and it started to recover, which you can see that here. I mean, this would have been a nice play, and we had earnings, so that helped out a lot for that company, Liverant Holdings. Probably something I would not trade yet because it's right there. It's at resistance pretty much. So let's go to VFF. VFF is showing signs of an uptrend. Bollinger Bands are still kind of squeezing together a little bit. The MACD indicator is pointing up. It had a nice uptrend of 322 to 550, 540. We'll verify what the profit would have been if you would have. Okay, give me a second. Gotta do it like this then. You would have made roughly around like 60 something percent. We'll do it a little higher. So 65% if you would have held 4 days in a row like this. Some people get scared, like if you would have bought here or even bought up here, like, oh, the stock's gonna go up, and look what happened the next day, and it tanks down, and the next day just surpasses. Some people would have sold down here for a loss. It's good to cut losses, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you got to remain patient, just remain patient, because it did break. If anything, I would have waited for confirmation. I mean, it was showing uptrends here. I would have waited for confirmation if it was going down. The Bollinger Bands even opened up on the 5-minute chart, which you clearly can see in the RSI showing, that it was overbought up here, and it started going down a little bit, and kind of finished off the day pretty much at the double top there, and it continued going up, and it's hovering right now. It bounces off the 180-day 5-minute chart. MARX, we'll back this one out. MARX just on a continuous downtrend regardless of the coronavirus. It was on a continuous downtrend. Started to pick back up slowly to around 20 bucks, fell off to around 10, like $7, and now it's consolidating in this area. Consolidating in this area, roughly anywhere from 9 to highs of almost 13 something. So that's still a significant amount of money. OCLU, same deal. Let's look at who gained the most during the all-time market change percentage though. Okay, we were already there. Sometimes I just like to see who gets the most money. So Decker Outdoors, continuous uptrend. Even though they had the coronavirus fall off, it pulled down, but it started to manage to come back up. Bollinger Bands are opening. It's currently trading at a double top there. 1, 2, and you can see that it pulled up to 189 and pulled back down. Oh, that's a $179 stock. I thought it said 17. That was my fault. All right. So, anyways, it's showing signs of an uptrend. Even the indicator down here is starting to show up. It's kind of in the middle of the overbought, oversold side. Let's check out. Did we already check ramps? Yes, we did. Let's check a cheaper stock, ELF. I think we already went over. Yep. So pretty much all these stocks have been moving, not significantly. I mean, maybe over time they have. Look at this one. This one's nice. So this one 652, and it continued to push out to a high of $9 here. Currently trading at $9 on this side. So it needs to break that $9 habit, resistance habit, and then this stock will continue to improve. The Bollinger Bands are opening up. It is at an all-time high on the 10 years still? Or, yeah, I guess we're on 10-year week. So this stock seems like it's not fairly new, but like 2017, the stock came out. So this is something to watch over a period of time. TBIO, I used to trade this stock back in the day when it was really cheap. It is, showing signs of an uptrend. Bollinger Bands are opening. EMA is bouncing off of here. Uh, it did hit a high of 21.95. This would have been Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. So after Tuesday, it had a sell-off, midday sell-off. I think almost all stocks had a midday sell-off like this, even Amazon and Tesla. And then it bounced right around here. Then it started to pull back up, couldn't hold the next day, and it continued to sell off, and then it busted above the EMA. So now it looks like it's continuing an uptrend, which is good news. This stock can theoretically go back from 2044 to 2195, pretty much double top. So if you were to buy this, I would wait either for the confirmation of continuous uptrend, or confirmation that is going to touch support and not break it. It's gonna and it comes down, holds, and then pushes back up, and then you can make even more profit from around 1935 up to 2195. Pretty much that one is it. We're gonna go to my watch list now. Alright, so we're going to take a quick look at my stock watch list over here. These are the ones I normally like to trade. This one is not a stock that we are watching, so that was the wrong one we put in. So we got Chipotle here, Shop, Lulu, Google's, both alphabets, Transdigm Group, which is also seems like it's going to be a good one here to play. It already had my breakout. It broke out above this, had to pull down. And it looks like it's currently moving up, but it's getting rejected. So this is one I'm keeping an eye on. Facebook is definitely pushing to all-time new highs. Look at that, just straight days on the 10-year chart weekly, but we'll drop this down to 1 year. So it's definitely just continue pushing up. It's made new highs already. 237 over here on the 5-day chart. It broke below and it started pushing back up. I did play this one in a I believe a strangle option, and it did not go in my favor. I thought it was going to continue to go down because it did here have a significant drop. It did have a double top pre-market, and it pushed down, and then it blew right through the 180-day. And honestly, I was definitely wrong about this one, so I cut losses. I lost about like $70, which is okay. I mean, it's better to lose 70 than the whole thing, So that's another one. UNH, United Healthcare. Right now, I definitely lost money on this one. I bought in up here. I didn't even really pay attention to my resistance. I should have. I should have actually shorted this one. It would have worked in my favor big time. But hey, I learned my lesson. Just got to pay attention to where the actual resistance and support levels are. Right now, it's currently in a squeeze with the Bollinger Band on a 1 year. Here it shows that it's signs of an uptrend. It is on the 180-day, above the 180-day on a 5-minute chart. Apple is Apple. It is hitting resistance and consolidating here. You can see that here by this. And yeah, so I think Apple should be a lot higher than this, but yeah, I did trade VTIQ one time. I believe I also lost money. I should have shorted on this candle here going down, but I didn't lose too much. You can't win every trade. So HD, Home Depot is on an uptrend, very beautiful. It's past 127 on a Fibonacci scale. It did have a slight, right here, you can see that. It didn't have so much volatility on this day. Didn't gap down this day here. Then the next day, it pulled down a little further, but it's bouncing. And right now, these Bollingers are, squeezing together. It is on the overbought side, sorry. And it seems like the blue wants to pass down below, so that's something to pay attention to on Home Depot. TQQ. This is one I haven't traded, but it's in here for the other people I watch for. Codex I called out a couple days ago. Can we see that? No. AMD, one of my favorite stocks to play, currently making double top kind of. Then I had another double top here, but it's showing signs of an uptrend with this here. So this is something to monitor. It could push back to around $60. Excuse me. LMT, Lockheed Martin. I used to trade this back in the day, and it looks like it's actually getting ready to open up on a Bollinger Band on a 100 on a 1 year mark, and it looks like it's gonna start pushing down again unless if they come out with some new technology for the United States government. Car. This one really got me. I lost 1,000 on this one, and that was because I bought an option, and the option was right in this time. We started moving up, and then it just had a complete sell-off, and there was no recovery. And then it started recovering after it hit like around $9. So I should have. It was already too late anyway. Even if I cut my losses, I was already too deep in a hole. I would have still lost the same amount as I bought in for. So there was no gaining it back. It tried to push up here. That's all we needed was to push around $16 to make our money, but it didn't. It just broke. But I should have paid attention to this support level here that I had already drawn out from this previous weeks. And if I would have bought here and sold up here, I would have made definitely a lot of money. So yeah, car. I got screwed over by a car, but it's alright. I caught this one just at the right time. SRNE Therapeutics. Apparently they had they tested a sample of the SARS/COVID virus, and it was good news. But I guess it wasn't so good because even though I bought in on this day here, so no, I bought in the previous day. I bought in on this one. I bought in here and I sold right about here, and I even told my whole group, I'm like, listen, it's not going to go. I mean, it's going to go up the next day, and just prepared to sell off. And I sold pretty much on this candle, around these candles here, because I seen that it was getting ready to go down. It was crossing over, and we can zoom to now. Look where it's at, 518. So I always tell people if the stock's already trading around 2, there's no reason to continue to hold this stock. This is not showing signs of improvement over time, unless if this company starts really producing and growing the way a company should be producing and growing. But a lot of therapeutics have, or a lot of biopharms actually have to go through a lot of FDA approvals and stages with their vaccines and or new findings for medicine. TXN, Texas Instruments. I'm just watching this one for now. Red Robin, I'm watching for now. It looks like it's wanting to start breaking here on the 1 year chart. I mean, it is going up, which is nice. It did break below my diagonal line. It pulled down to the support and it continued to push back up. So now I'm waiting for confirmation to a bust above this line here. MRO Oil, I have like a couple shares in this. RTX is just in here right there on because of their technology as well with the government. But I'm not actively trading this one. We got Starbucks. We have FVRR. I started to trade, but I already knew it was going too high. I think I lost like $20 or something on this one. And it started a downtrend, which is okay. I pulled out just in time. Boeing. It's always trading within this range here, so until Boeing and all the airplanes get back online with this coronavirus, then I would see it popping through resistance. Netflix, Amazon, and Tesla. And Netflix had a good run for a little bit here. Literally a good run. I mean, it just went straight up pretty much. Had that bounce and then went straight up again. Amazon, same thing. It hit an all-time high of 25.45, and it is currently on a descent. The Bollinger Bands are opening. We have to wait for confirmation tomorrow if I'm correct. I mean, I am in the stock as a put short on options, or a put option, which is like a short. So I want this stock to theoretically come down to this line here around 24.21. It definitely needs to have some sort of support right around here. This is a first support, second support on this line here. If not, then I will cut ties tomorrow morning, and then we'll continue from there. Tesla is showing signs of a consolidation period for the last pretty much 5 days. I mean, it did move significantly. Plus or minus like $70, plus or minus. This one, or actually, sorry, plus or minus like $30 really, and so Tesla's moving plus or minus like $25 for the last couple of days. You really got to catch it at the resistance areas or support areas to play this. It is really sloppy right now with what's happening to the Tesla factory and pretty much to any business in general. BABA, I haven't traded BABA in a long time, but as you can see, it bounced to one of my angles here that I drew on the side. So we'll see what comes up with BABA. Well, hey, Profit Bulls, that concludes this stock breakdown. If you guys have any stocks you want me to break down, just go to the Facebook group, and then I can break down some stocks for you. Put a little bit more detail into it, what I see profit, where I would see my resistance and supports, where my entries and exits would be, where my stop loss would be, etc. All right, team, take it easy.